Okay, welcome back, Creatures of the Night, to a very special watch-along episode with my very special guest, Keegan Dimitrijevic, at Keegan RW on Twitter. And
Thank you.
today we'll be watching SummerSlam 2008, The Undertaker versus Edge, Hell in a Cell. And if you've been listening to my podcast episodes, you've known that this ranked in at number 2 on my 4 favorite Hell in a Cell matches. And this was picked by Keegan to talk about and watch along. So tell my listeners why you decided to pick SummerSlam 2008 today.
Memory lane, nostalgia, because this is one of the very first Hell in a Cell matches I've ever seen in my entire life. Because back then, WWE only did about one cell match a year, 2 at most. So this was, I don't know the exact number, but it was one of the maybe 10, 15 first cell matches ever. So, because this was in 2008, and this was also the first ever Hell in a Cell match to take place at SummerSlam, and also the last since. So it holds up to me because this is the culmination of one of my favorite feuds of all time between Undertaker and Edge that lasted from May of 2007 to August of 2008. So I really love this match, and because it was more like a TLC match with a Hell in a Cell match, they kind of did a little bit of both, and there's never been a cell match like that since. So I love the story that they told too, leading up with Edge saying that he was going to take the Undertaker down no matter what. And, ultimately we'll see if that happens. But and also I was at the theater for this. 6-year-old me was at the theater for this too. So I remember the ending in that, and the ending with Undertaker lighting the ring on fire. Still in my mind to this day.
Of ourselves right here for the people who have not watched it.
Yeah. But I mean, it's 13 years old, so yeah. I mean, this might be your second time watching it. It's probably my 100th, but
it's more than second time for me. But like you said, it's a great culmination of a great feud. And as many of my listeners may know, this is Undertaker had lost a match at One Night Stand that if he had lost to Edge, he would be banished from SmackDown and the WWE by Vicky Guerrero. But the story here was, since Edge cheated on her on the wedding day, that she had no choice but to bring the Undertaker back to get revenge on him. And there's no better revenge match than the Hell in the Cell, and there's no better feud ender than the Hell in the Cell. So of course we're brought to this classic. Some may say underrated. I hope it gets the praise it deserves for just the two talents that are in this match. You got a great heel in Edge. You got the amazing Undertaker, who you just can't hate. And they just brought a 1.5-year feud to an end here at SummerSlam 2008, Hell in the Cell. And I think it's a great choice to watch along with, and especially to watch if you haven't watched it in a long time.
And also a disclaimer too for the younger audiences out there who've never seen this match. This is when the PG era was first starting, but this match defies PG era for the most part. And for a spoiler, there's no color in the match, no intentional color, I should say. But I just want to point that out there too. So if you've never seen this match and you like cell matches, this is definitely one of those old school classic Hell in a Cell matches that you will want to watch. It's not none of those newer cell matches where it's just, a couple weapons here and there, high spot, and no blood. This is a real cell match to me.
Yeah, it is. It's a classic cell match with PG era rules, which shows that you don't need color or anything like that to get a good match over. And as Keegan said, it does become more of a TLC in a Hell in a Cell match. Which it plays the Undertaker's strengths and it plays the Edge's strengths. So you're basically going into this match. Nobody has an advantage over one another, and it was unpredictable, and that's what we like sometimes in our wrestling matches. We didn't know who was going to win, even though we kind of had a feeling who was going to win.
Yeah, we kind of had a feeling.
If a feud needed to come to an end, it needed to come to an end here. So are you ready to get started?
I'm ready.
Okay, so Keegan, being in Canada, has the luxury of still having the WWE Network. So be jealous for him. but I have it on Peacock, and thankfully the times still match up. So we decided to forego the entrances in this watch along. We are starting at 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 1 second. The Undertaker has just entered the ring and staring down Edge. And when you are ready, I will say 3, 2, 1, play. And hopefully everything goes well with, hopefully no ads interrupt mine because you have the luxury of having no ads. But are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, play.
Look at that stare down from Taker.
Yeah. They are
Legendary.
locking them in the cell.
I miss that cell structure, man. I wish they wouldn't have replaced it with the red one.
I know. The red one looks too plasticky, too fake. I like this. I like the steel.
They should rename it to Hate in a Crate because that's what it looks like.
That meme with the little plastic crate.
Yep. Here comes Edge with the right hands playing cat and mouse. And he's going to get caught. Oh, look at that throw.
Edge playing like he's not scared of the Undertaker. Classic heel move.
He's trying to play the speed advantage and boom, runs right into the big boot. Classic Undertaker offense right there.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to get ugly real quick, folks. Oh, Undertaker's just pummeling Edge with strikes and headbutts in the corner.
And it's interesting to see both men have red and black in this.
Yeah, they both do. It's funny because they both weren't on Raw at that time.
Yeah, and it's almost like almost like a subtle imagery, you know. You like have the red and blacks like
For the blood. Yeah.
blood.
For those who don't know, Edge actually told the story that he really wanted to get color in this match, but because it was the culmination of the feud, but Vince wouldn't let it because the PG era literally just started, I think, weeks before this. So they had to kind of compromise with that.
Going on since 2008, the PG era?
Yeah, it started in like right after WrestleMania 24, not too long after.
Wow, I thought that's something that happened like in 2010.
No, well, they started it after that concussion protocol, after 2007, after everything. So then they started this PG era eventually with high definition TV.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Edge begged to have color in this match from his podcast, but Vince wouldn't allow it. And now Edge is getting his face grated like a cheese grater.
It would have been a shame. I think it would have added something to the rivalry, especially at finishing here.
I think especially with how personal this rivalry was, it could have used a bit of color at the end, but the match was still great itself, and they told a fantastic story. And now Edge goes careening right into the steps. Ooh.
Undertaker's always been a master of using the cell to his advantage.
Greatest Hell in a Cell performer of all time, by far.
Grading him into the cell, throwing him to the steps.
Like, he's so methodical at the beginning of the match with just, picking apart someone and introducing them to what they set themselves up for. It's great storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Now Undertaker's going to go for the guillotine leg drop. There's Vicky. I can't believe this was 13 years ago.
I know.
Guillotine leg drop. Right there, and Edge selling the throat.
Vintage Undertaker.
As Michael Cole would say, vintage. The vintage Deadman.
Yeah. As we just saw La Familia in the back.
Yeah.
Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, Chavo Guerrero, Bam.
Hey, remember Bam? Yeah, remember Bam Neely? That's a name from the past.
The people.
Zack Ryder actually looks good with long hair.
Yeah.
He should have kept it.
I agree.
Not that take care, spike your hair thing.
The people who have made Undertaker's life a living hell since basically the end of WrestleMania 23.
Pretty much, yeah. Because Edge cashed in and went May of 07 after the cage match with Taker and Batista.
At the Taker Batista steel cage match, Mark Henry attacks Undertaker and then he cashes in.
Ooh, yes, Snake Eyes. Oh, and then Edge counters with the elbow.
Yeah.
Great counter. Yeah, because Mark Henry attacked Taker, and then Taker came back for Unforgiven, right?
Yeah. Unforgiven.
Beat the heck out of Henry. Yeah.
And then he tried to capture the title again from Batista in Cyber Sunday and Survivor Series, but
Really underrated matches, both of them.
and in those ones, Batista evened up the feud.
Yeah, 2-2 apiece, right?
2-2. Undertaker wins WrestleMania and Backlash, and Batista wins Cyber Sunday and Survivor Series. But it was Ed disguised as a cameraman that brings it all full circle in that match.
Yeah, with Edge returning, and then they did the triple threat at Armageddon, right?
Yeah, where we
the Edge heads were introduced.
The Edge heads, and then Undertaker's life continues to be made a living hell by Edge.
Such a good feud, man. I think this one's up there with the Randy Orton feud, too, from 2005 in terms of pure storytelling.
Yeah, Orton, Batista, and Edge, those Undertaker's great ones at this time.
Oh, yeah, and especially Edge's facial reactions here just looking completely crazed in order to keep up with The Undertaker. I love that touch to this match. Now Edge is getting out the tables, and he's going to get ready to go ECW-esque on The Undertaker.
We're getting the L from TLC in this match now.
The ladders.
I mean, the T. Can't believe I said the ladders.
Well, ladders are coming, I think, for those who aren't watching. I think since we said TLC, I think the ladders should be coming anyway. It'd be a shame if they didn't.
And Undertaker's feuds just get better from here. After this, we get some pretty good matches with Big Show.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get CM Punk and Shawn Michaels.
Well, those matches with Shawn were incredible from 25 and 26. Wow.
And we get a really good championship run at the end of 2009 from Undertaker.
The one thing I loved about The Undertaker selling was when he would still have his hands up in the air and think someone was there and he was still trying to punch, yet the person was on the other side of him.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good little touch of realism.
Yeah.
I always like that.
Undertaker's always been good at selling, especially during this time. It's like when he brought out the MMA style in his wrestling.
With the strikes and that.
Yeah, he would always keep his fists up.
Oh, a chair shot right to the throat. Because this is around the time they banned over the head chair shots.
That's right.
Otherwise, that right there would have probably been an over the head shot. Which is for the better, but man, Edge was on fire in 2008.
Yeah.
He was just, man,
I think
maybe the best wrestler of the year that year.
Yeah. And I think
Jericho.
I think Undertaker still gets chair shots to the head in some of his matches in the PG era.
I think him and Triple H did at 27, and I heard they both got fined for it.
They both got fined as well.
Yeah, I think they got fined. I'm sure. I don't know.
They did, but come on, are you really gonna find The Undertaker and Triple H?
I mean, it would protect their shot to the head, though. Your guy's hand up right there, so
yeah.
It was like
Undertaker's not taking unproductive chair shots in 2011.
Yeah, especially how old is he at that time? 45, 46?
Yeah, 46.
Still look great.
Oh, yeah.
He looks great in this match, and he's 43.
Yeah. Still looks great now. 46.
Man, I can't believe this is the only time a Hell in a Cell match has ever been done at SummerSlam.
Yeah, you said that earlier, and I was like, oh, you're right.
Yeah.
It's like
shocking.
It was only reserved for usually WrestleMania
or a B show pay-per-view to get buy rates.
Mm-hmm.
Like Unforgiven or No Mercy would have them sometimes.
Mm-hmm. They were
Vengeance. Oh, what a chair shot!
Now we get the ladders. It was only used really for ending feuds.
I hate now that they use the Hell in a Cell as a gimmick pay-per-view, because to me a lot of the feuds now aren't severe enough for a Hell in a Cell match, and the match is overused. So, and it starts a feud now. It doesn't even end a feud, which I don't like, because this was originally the match that was supposed to upstage the steel cage match to end everything once and for all.
Yeah.
And now it just continues everything. But this was a prime example of how you end a feud, was this match.
The following year, Hell in a Cell pay-per-view starts.
Not a fan of the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Some of the matches were good, but I think that the Cell should have been reserved for once or twice a year at an unpredictable time for, a blood feud.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't think anybody was really expecting this to end with Hell in a Cell, at that time. But I think WWE did a great job at protecting that with One Night Stand, where we thought Taker was going to be gone for a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Here comes Edge. He's going up the ladder with the chair, and he's going to yell, "I understand."
And then Undertaker's next feuds around this
time
all ended with Hell in a Cell. He got Orton ended in one, Batista, Edge, and CM Punk ends in one.
Yeah, and even Shane McMahon, if you want to count that, from 32.
Yeah, a 20-year feud with the McMahons ends in Hell in the Cell.
Storybook.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I like this little homage, though, that Edge did when he said, "I understand," because a week or so before, he did that with Mick Foley, when Mick Foley said, "I can't help you beating Taker."
Mm-hmm.
And Edge wrote him off TV when his contract ended by doing that, by spiking him through the table with the chair.
Yeah.
Great little flashback.
Yeah, and Undertaker going through the table here, it's just, and especially in the last encounter at One Night Stand, it shows Undertaker can get hardcore when needed to be.
I still can't believe that he flew off the ladder through all those tables like Bubba Ray Dudley did all those years ago.
I still can't. I'm
Here
like,
comes the chair.
Like, what the heck?
He sold it good. It probably did hurt, though. Oh, Undertaker. Oh, Edge's security got caught. Chokeslam. No, Edge is fighting out.
Edge has always been.
Oh, what a punch.
Edge has always been one, like, he always reversed everything Undertaker gave him.
They told the story that Edge always had an answer.
Yeah.
Until the Undertaker spiked him with that right hand.
Oh, I love that. Undertaker's such a great striker here.
The greatest striker I've ever seen.
Best pure striker, as Michael Cole would say.
The greatest pure striker. Oh, what a boot into the cage. And Edge bounced off the apron. Hey, you see that big bruise on Edge's ribs?
Yes.
Wow.
Is that from going through the table?
I don't know if it's going through the table or bumping off the cage. Maybe it's I don't know. It might have been from jumping off the top and hitting down right through the table. No pun intended.
Love Undertaker. Undertaker always gives the best big boots.
Oh, yeah. Big boots and overhand rights. No one beats Taker.
Going for the steel steps. In homage to when Mankind won, when he would call for the steps. Oh.
There's little homages everywhere in this match.
Yeah, especially near the end. I like the debut at the end.
It's great. Yeah, it's a great conclusion. For those who aren't watching or have never watched, stay tuned. Undertaker's going to dart him into the cell. Let's see. Does Edge have an answer? Turns out, yes. Boom, right into the ring post. Undertaker's head bounced resounding off that ring post, as JR would probably say. And wait, what's Edge lining up for?
Oh, no.
Spear through the damn cage. They broke the cage.
And that's still a photo that's shared like in Hell in a Cell moments of them going right through it.
Holy bleep.
Oh, my God.
Taker's arms all cut up.
Oh, my God. That just missed JR and Taz.
I love those two together. Taz was such an underrated commentator, and JR to me is the greatest commentator of all time.
Yeah, JR can have good chemistry with almost anybody.
I don't think he ever had bad chemistry with anybody, really. Like, he always delivered.
I love when he was with Vince in, like, the early 90s. Like, they would, like, go back and forth with each other.
Oh, him and Jerry Lawler, too, were always an iconic pairing. I wish they were on SmackDown, though, instead of Raw, because, like, I always like SmackDown more than Raw. But I did like Cole and Taz, too, though. But
that was Cole's best partner in Taz.
Oh, yeah. Great chemistry with those two.
Yeah.
I feel like Michael Cole often, too, gets overhated.
I like Cole and Taz. I didn't care for Cole and JBL. I felt JBL was always too much in character.
I'll never forget, though, when JBL made one of the funniest calls ever with Daniel Bryan when he said, the fairy tale continues to live on. We got a farm animal still as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
I love JBL, though.
He's so funny, though. Yeah. Oh, Undertaker's going for the monitor. Oh, that could have ended disastrous for Edge. But Edge, once again, had an answer.
Tearing apart the announcer tables and everything, going.
Boom! There's the monitor. Homage to Survivor Series 07. When he used it against The Undertaker with the big camera to cost him the world title against Batista.
Yeah.
Boom again.
Oh.
Man, this is giving me such flashbacks. Rewatching this again.
I know. I haven't watched this in, I think, like a couple of months, but it's like, it just brings me back to when I first saw this, like, what did you say, 13 years ago? Oh my
I think it was 13 years ago. Yeah, 2008.
Yeah.
Spear through the table. Here it comes. Boom. Now they're hugging each other.
The ECW table is a new Spanish announce table.
Pretty much. They always break the Spanish announce table every pay-per-view. It's like a tradition. My dad pointed that out to me back in the day. He's like, don't you notice they always break that table?
Yeah.
Tradition. Break the Spanish announce table. Can't break their own freaking tables. Boom.
Oh my God. Just the impact, exactly what Taz just said. The impact that these two are putting themselves through. And they're not even in the cell at this point. They're on the outside.
Well, Taker's arm's all cut up too, I think, from getting speared through the cell. It's like right here on the forearm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was Taker's first match back in 2 months, right? Since One Night Stand. This was his first match back.
Was One Night Stand in June or July? I think
it was in June, wasn't it? Might have been. It's a good month or two.
April's Backlash. May was Judgment Day.
Yeah, and then June was One Night Stand. Because I remember in 07 it was in June.
Okay. So it's
so Taker had 2 months off here.
And I like how they said I think during the 2 months Undertaker was still fighting on house shows. So it's like
probably was.
Every time Vicky Guerrero will come out and say she's allowing the Undertaker to fight today because he was been promoted here. So to not give the fans a reason for their money back, I'm allowing him to fight. It's like so.
And then she reinstated him and Hell in a Cell with that evil laugh. Vicky had the greatest evil laugh, man.
Yeah, Vicky's such a good heel. It's such a great pairing with Edge because he just hated the both of them.
Speaking of the Guerreros, I always thought Chavo was underrated too. Always did.
Well, Chavo had pretty good matches with Taker, especially during this time. I know they had a casket match, I think.
Yeah. I know they went on SmackDown, didn't it? It was on SmackDown.
Yeah. Undertaker always been a fan of the Guerreros.
I still wish, man, him and Eddie. But at least we got him and Edge. Boom, ladder shot.
Yeah.
I miss Edge's red kick pads. I thought they looked really cool.
Undertaker comes in, just gets nailed with a ladder.
Let's see. Undertaker was just laying there and then unexpectedly sitting up and just making his comeback. Oh, here comes homage to Survivor Series with the camcorder or camera. Looks like a camcorder. Here we go. Boom. You guys hands up for that.
Oh, yeah.
No more over-the-head chair shots, as we said.
Oh.
One. Oh.
The first pinfall attempt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was the first pinfall attempt. And how many minutes are we into this? Like 10, 15 minutes? Let's see. I think we're about 15 minutes into this match.
Already?
Yeah. It started at 2:08. Now we're at 2:26. I know my math's not very good. Me and Scott Steiner, we're going to battle it out for bad math, man. Oh! Edge went for the spear and he got caught. Choke slam straight to hell.
Undertaker's gaining his momentum back.
1, 2, and Edge stays alive. Does Undertaker ever pin anybody with the chokeslam? Like very rarely.
Very rarely. He pinned
Goldberg.
Goldberg with the choke slam. But very rarely. Maybe early Undertaker, I would say maybe 94, 95 maybe.
I always like the chokeslam finish.
Yeah.
Oh, Edge with the low blow. Edge goes down south. What a sniveling heel.
Shades of Mr. McMahon.
Oh, yeah. And Brock Lesnar.
Oh, yeah.
Dang Edge.
Oh,
He's Canadian, so I'm biased.
Is that going to be in your moveset?
What? Oh, the low blow. Maybe the Edge. Maybe some variant of the execution. Like this. Boom, there it is.
Undertaker's always good at selling a low blow.
They call it the Impaler DDT. I call it the execution.
The execution. That's how I always remember it because that's how it always was labeled in the my wrestling games. The execution.
Because like on the commentators always said it was the Impaler DDT, but I remember it as the execution. Mm-hmm. Oh, set up from Taker, Edge. You messed up, pal. You messed up.
Is there any better crowd reaction or like turn in momentum than an Undertaker setup?
I don't think so.
No.
I really don't think so. The crowd just goes ballistic.
Going to the last ride.
Last ride through the table. Oh man, Edge might have an early retirement here. Nope. Reverses spear, and oh man, did Taker sell that spear.
You knew the last ride was not going to go through the table.
Imagine if it did though. What kind of spot that would have been. Jeez. Edge wouldn't have an old age. Man, Taker really bumped well on that spear.
Yeah, Undertaker always takes finishing moves well.
Oh yeah. And he kicks out of all of them for the most part. Because he's the Deadman. The greatest character of all time.
Of course. That's why we're here.
Exactly. Collect up dead. Here comes Edge with the punches, and we know what this is going to eventually lead to. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, last ride, Edge. You're screwed. Again.
I like how Undertaker first did this, I think, at WrestleMania 17 against Triple H.
Yeah, and didn't he win with it too? From what I remember. Yeah.
He won with the corner last ride.
That's quite the underrated WrestleMania match.
I love that match. I love WrestleMania 17.
Yeah, from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Maybe the greatest wrestling card of all time.
Yeah.
That card was great. And you know what's funny about that too is they actually forgot about putting Taker and Triple H on the card, so they just paired them together.
Yeah, and look at made magic.
Absolute magic.
Yeah, and that's a rivalry that lasted 20-something years.
Great rivalry.
Yeah.
I love the storytelling that him and Triple H were able to pull off.
I love him and Triple H. I mean, I love him and Shawn, but I think I love him and Triple H a little bit better.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I loved all 4 of those matches at WrestleMania. The ones that happened 4 years in a row with Shawn and Triple H. And then the one with CM Punk.
Yeah.
Those were like 5. I mean, he had like from WrestleMania 23 to 29, just had like the greatest matches of the year.
I agree.
And this match here with Edge in 2008, I thought was the match of the year.
This SummerSlam one or the WrestleMania?
The SummerSlam one. But the WrestleMania one's right behind because that was great too.
It was.
Oh, pump right on the stuff. I think it was this match and Shawn and Jericho from No Mercy. I thought were probably the best matches of 08 for WWE. But I think this one was a tad better. I think this match was a tad better. So
Undertaker taking it.
Yeah, that back bump on the steps.
It's just like it's just like in that Triple H WrestleMania 828 when Triple H gives you the spine buster on the steps.
Oh yeah, I remember that, and same thing with Hell's Gate too.
Yeah, you just feel it.
The aluminum steps. I'm sure they feel okay when you get hit like this with them, but when you get slammed on them,
no, yeah.
Oof.
That's like this is now the 3rd pin attempt by Edge, and Undertaker.
Master manipulator, man.
Yeah, 3rd or 4th pin attempt. Undertaker's only had 2.
Man, you're so good at keeping count of things. That's why I never majored in math. I can't remember anything like that. I can remember stories because I like English, but I can't remember counting pinfalls or submissions and that. My counting skills are
I like statistics.
way worse than my wrestling skills right now. Oh, Edge is going for old school, man. What an insult. An Undertaker versus.
But is he going to connect?
Punk did.
Punk did.
Oh, what a punch.
And you knew that Undertaker must have had enough respect for CM Punk to allow him to connect.
Oh, yeah, because I'm sure Taker just doesn't do that for anybody.
Oh, I don't think anybody's done it. Right through the tables.
Edge went smashing right here. I remember seeing that in the theater when I was little, and I just thought that spot was like the greatest thing I've ever seen.
A mini shade of what Undertaker had to go through.
Yeah, just a little bit, because Taker went through triple the tables of that, and Edge's back got cut up from that.
Yeah. But of course, they didn't have enough room for more tables, so they did what they had to do.
Hey, that spot looked great.
Straps are down for the Undertaker. You know, business is picking up now.
I love this slow burn that beat him. Oh, Undertaker with a spear of his own. He actually gave a pretty underrated spear.
Yeah. Now the tables have been turned. Edge is now on the receiving end of everything the Undertaker had to go through for the past.
Yeah, how does it feel, Edge?
From being thrown through tables at one night stand to a spear. Going for the.
Oh!
Shades of what at Survivor Series. Breaking the camera. And now
Edge sold that.
The concerto. Undertaker's
There
ready.
we go. I love this ending sequence because it's like Undertaker got payback for everything Edge
Undertaker gets payback for everything.
did. Crack.
A concerto, a spear, the smack of the camera, the tables. Yeah.
Man, Edge is just laying there like dead.
And I love the selling, the little subtle sellings Edge did when he smacked them. You know, the legs flopped. It's almost like you're
just like quivering it.
Like you're shooting him. And the Undertaker gives Edge his best.
As JR would say, you pay for your sins.
And there's no better way to end a match than with a tombstone pile driver, and Undertaker gets the 3.
Oh, that was great. I've watched this match so many times, man. It just never gets old.
It never gets old.
But folks, the match ain't over yet.
That's right.
The bell rang, but it ain't done yet.
The bell rang, but the revenge is not over.
Vicky likes what she sees. Her own husband destroyed.
And even in 2008, JR calls The Undertaker the greatest of them all.
Yeah. I think JR's been on record, too, of saying that he thinks Taker's the greatest of all time.
Yeah. And Undertaker has another 12 years left in his career.
Yeah. I'm surprised because Taker was already 43 here, and I think people were assuming in the next year or two he was going to hang it up, and he never did. It took till 2020 so far. Long career, but the greatest career. I love that stage for SummerSlam that year.
Yeah, and I just love this, how Undertaker gets pulled back to Edge because he sees on the Titantron that Edge is moving.
Just barely moving.
Barely moving. Something Undertaker just couldn't live with.
And then Undertaker gets the look like, okay, I'm ending it now. That's it.
Yeah.
Edge, you're moving. I don't want you to.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what a match.
Truly main event worthy. This could have been any main event at any pay-per-view.
And there was even no titles involved either.
Yeah.
It's just a great grudge match.
Something that's missing nowadays. You miss grudge match endings.
Yeah, there's no more really. There's not a lot of grudge matches anymore. It's just going through the motions matches.
Yeah.
Where they just like either have the title on the line and it's done, or they end up feuding for a million times over the title for 6 months out of the year. And
Yeah.
see Scott Armstrong, he's holding the ladder up so Edge don't fall.
Oh my God. Just position his prone body.
I love the way Edge is just like melting off the ladder.
Yeah. It's
Great.
like he's
Great visual.
He's got like no energy left. He's just there.
Man, this is one of the greatest endings I've ever seen. Just a perfect way to send everybody home happy.
Yeah. Well, it was such a blood feud, something needed to happen like this.
Undertaker just whacks Scott Armstrong.
So that's why Scott Armstrong screws him in a year with CM Punk.
Yeah, breaking point. Oh man, I remember every time Scott Armstrong used to ref Undertaker's match after that, I used to get so mad thinking, oh, he's gonna screw over Taker.
Oh, I know. It all stems back from the SummerSlam 2008 match. He threw him against the ladder.
All right, Edge, you're going straight to hell, man.
And we get a nice little almost like part of Undertaker's Titantron cutting in.
Yeah, like a clip.
Yeah.
Here we go. Man, what an ending.
I wonder if the live audience saw that.
I don't know. It would have been cool if they did, though. If they could somehow incorporate that.
May have been on the Titantron there.
Boom! Right through the brain.
Beautifully landed right through the mat.
And just like that, the Undertaker ends Edge.
He ends Edge. And I believe Edge is gone until the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, he was gone, I think, towards almost until the end of the year, right?
Yeah.
And then here we go. Great visual.
Yeah. A harken back to almost Undertaker's ministry days.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with the way he's sitting, too.
Yeah, where he summons the flames to destroy Edge.
Edge just went straight to hell for all the sins he committed. And
it's just a beautiful ending visual, just the flames and the purple lighting.
I agree. Perfect. Wow.
Perfect. And that ends SummerSlam 2008, Undertaker versus. Any final comments?
Man, I don't know. I think we covered a lot of things, but
yeah,
I think we have to watch one more Undertaker cell match eventually.
I think,
or all of them. I mean, but
I think it speaks for itself. For those watching, if you are watching at home with us, it's truly a match that speaks for itself. And we didn't need to talk a lot about it. It's like you become so enthralled with the match.
Yeah, 7-year-old me came back.
Yeah.
For about 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm. It's truly one of Undertaker's best feuds. It's truly a great way to end one here in the cell match, and
we need more decisive endings like that now.
I agree. I think that the way that Undertaker put Edge down, bring everything back from the entire year-long feud, Edge getting everything that Undertaker got from Edge, and then just destroying him, and it basically destroys him for half a year.
Pretty much.
So it's, by the time Edge returns at the Royal Rumble, you don't even, some people don't even remember what happened. If you're a new watcher, like around 2009, you don't even know why he was gone, but you knew he must have been gone for some kind of reason. you go back and rewatch this, and everything makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you can't really say much more, you know.
Yeah, I think we said a lot.
It's a great match. It's always always in my top 5 of Hell in a Cell matches. Like I said, I ranked it number 2 a couple weeks ago because usually my number 1 is Triple H at WrestleMania. Mankind, a King of the Rings classic. But I think the Edge and Randy Orton, Hell in a Cells, truly underrated in most parts.
Oh, I agree. I don't think they're talked about enough at all.
Yeah. I think most Hell in a Cells that are talked about is the ones that happened either on WrestleMania or like big spots, like the Shawn Michaels, the Mankind, and of course the Triple H one with Taker.
I agree. A lot of the cell matches are remembered for their spots rather than the match quality itself. But I think Edge and Taker definitely proved that quality means just as much, because there wasn't just one good spot in the match. There was about 15.
Yeah, and they didn't have to do big spots. You know, it's just going through the cell, going through a couple tables, and it's just the storytelling.
It was perfect, man.
It was perfect, and the storytelling he brought with Orton, you know, with the urn, brings it back to when they cost him the match with the urn. It's perfect.
I will put a period on my comments with that, because there's no other way to put it. I think you put it perfectly.
There is no other way to put it. And I hope everybody listening enjoyed this special watch-along episode, SummerSlam 2008, Undertaker versus Edge. A great match to rewatch whenever you are in the mood for nostalgia or some classic Undertaker moments. Thank you again, Keegan, for joining me here. I always love talking with you, and I would love to do another special watch-along episode again in the future.
For sure. Will happen.
Awesome. So hope everybody enjoyed this episode, and watch it whenever you get a chance. It's definitely a one that's not talked about enough as it should be. And if you like what you see, subscribe to the podcast, like and subscribe on the YouTube channel, and there'll be plenty more content like this coming your way. So any parting words, Keegan?
I recommend everybody subscribe to the YouTube channel, because there's a lot of really good quality, and there are a lot of channels who do deserve recognition, this one included. So if you send me the link, I will post it on my Twitter, and to anybody who follows me on Twitter or follows Stephen on Twitter, I encourage you to watch the video, because we're 2 wrestling fans there, and if there's something that you can relate to with us, then that's the greatest thing in the world, is have everyone come together and watch wrestling.
Thank you so much, and thank you again for being a guest here today. I really enjoyed it. Always enjoy watching classic Undertaker matches. It's just
Who doesn't?
It just makes you feel good. It just makes you feel good.
Yes, exactly. Who doesn't love watching Taker? At any.
I haven't met a person like that, and hopefully I never do. Well, thank you again, and I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you.